founder of Niagara Pride.
Thank you, Jordan. Yes, Ronald Piaseczny.
Yes.
I know it's a little difficult to pronounce. So.
Well, I'm glad that you clarified that for me because
Yes.
it was a little hard to pronounce. So what is Niagara Pride, Ron?
So Niagara Pride we're a 501c3 nonprofit. We founded our organization in 2020. The best time in the world to create a nonprofit is during a global pandemic, let me tell you. It had its challenges, but basically we founded a couple years ago, and we are an LGBTQ organization servicing Western New York, primarily Niagara County, but we do cover all 8 counties of Western New York.
So you certainly service all of Western New York, the 8 counties.
Yes.
And so why is Niagara Pride important for our community?
So Niagara Pride offers services that some of the other organizations, even though their services are equally critically important to the LGBTQ community, we offer additional services that complement what the other agencies are doing. So for example, we being in Niagara County are able to access rural LGBTQ folks. We're able to go in and do things like health fairs, scholarships, grants to GSAs in Niagara County to help support diversity initiatives for students. We do Pride celebrations that are not going to be your big typical Buffalo celebration, which is amazing, but for a lot of folks who can't get out to Buffalo, who are in the more rural parts of Niagara County, we're able to do localized events for them and bring a sense of pride and safety and inclusivity to those areas.
Absolutely, and I believe recently you guys started doing it in North Tonawanda as well, right? North Tonawanda is one of the places that you've started celebrating.
That is correct. So with Oliver Street Merchant Association, which they have been absolutely amazing at creating this, we partnered with them in order to be able to hold North Tonawanda Pride. And in addition to that, we had Newfane Pride last year for the first time, which is an incredible sense of accomplishment and just joy to be able to bring something like a Pride celebration to a very rural community like Newfane, Wilson, Alcott. And then this year, we're going to be expanding Niagara Falls Pride and having a much larger Niagara Falls Pride celebration at the end of June.
Why is it important to have these celebrations for our community?
So we've seen in the media and in the news, you do see the rise of anti-LGBTQ hate crimes. We see violence against our community. You can't turn on the television nowadays without seeing pieces of legislation trying to be introduced which ban LGBTQ education. So knowing that not only is that impacting our legal rights, our safety, but when you are a student, when you are in, again, some of these more underserved areas where you can't get access to other LGBTQ resources, it plays a huge emotional toll on people. So having services like ours, organizations like ours present, we create those safe spaces so folks can be themselves and feel safe.
Absolutely, and it's important to mention the support aspect of this.
Yes.
There's reports that are in the media right now that teenagers, the rise in crime and suicide are going through the roof. And this program is for the LGBTQ plus community, but really just to educate people who may be questioning or curious.
Yes.
You know, and for those watching who may need some direction, you know, they can reach out to you,
Yes.
to your organization, and you can help guide them.
Yes, we do diversity and inclusivity training to businesses, agencies, schools, other nonprofits, government agencies. Last year alone, we provided training to over 7,000 individuals.
Wow.
Nationwide. We did LGBTQ
That gives
training.
me chills.
It's a huge number.
Just think about the 7,000, but the people they're going to impact.
Exactly. It's that domino effect that once you get training, you share that information. And to piggyback on what you were saying, one of the statistics that we shared during our training, which is just mind-boggling and incredibly sad, Trevor Project back in 2019 did a study where they found that every 45 seconds, an LGBTQ youth in the United States between the ages of 13 and 21 attempt suicide. So that's a huge number, and we're trying to minimize that and make a positive impact.
You know, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. That number is crazy. We have to do whatever we can to try and curb that. If you're anyone watching this show, you might be feeling sad or depressed. There is the 988 number you can call, and they're there 24/7 to help provide the support you may need.
Yes.
No matter what part of life you're in, it's okay to reach out and just say, I need help.
Exactly.
Talking about help, grants, you know, funding, that's what you're in need of right now.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
So our nonprofit, we rely heavily on community-based donations. We were very lucky a couple years ago to receive a grant which helped us create the Gene Hopkins Memorial Scholarship Fund. But all of the other programs that we talked about, as well as our health fair initiatives, the 5K that we organize, our Pride events, all of that is funded through donations that we receive. We don't have any grants. We don't, any other grants. We don't receive state, federal, or local funding. It's all 100% donations is how our agency runs.
Well, we need to work on that state, local funding. You're an important program in our community and helping, you know, not just the LGBTQ plus community, but really anybody that needs it. We've partnered on events, and I've had you at events, and you just bring this level of knowledge that people need to tap into. Before we go today, can you tell me, you know, your favorite part about working with the community?
So for me, it's always meeting individuals and family members and having that direct connection. And if I can just share an example of some of the stories where it just the most meaningful impact has been when I've met with parents who have said, my son or daughter or my grandson or my granddaughter thought about potentially harming themselves or didn't feel comfortable in school or was bullied. Had your program been around, they would have had an easier time. And it just breaks my heart knowing that we could have helped, but also knowing we're here now. We are able to make a difference. And that's what keeps me going every day.
No, I see firsthand the importance of your program. As a young gay man, growing up, that program would have helped me. So I know there are children out there and young adults that are benefiting from your programs. Was there anything else you want to add today before we go briefly?
Just really quickly, we do a bunch of events. We have our Western New York Pride 5K event. We have a whole bunch of things slated for June, which we're super excited about. But we do our diversity trainings, our GSA grants, and our scholarships. All of that information you can find on our website, www.niagarapride.org, or look us up on Facebook.
Perfect. And before we go, as a small token of our appreciation, our friends over at Double Eagle Embroidery wanted to gift you this Bills Mafia fleece. Just a small, you know, token of our appreciation, Ron. But now you'll be out in the community rocking that Buffalo Bills style.
Love it.
You're
Very
so
awesome.
welcome.
Thank you, Jordan.
Again, Ron, thank you so very much for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be back to wrap up our show after this. Stay tuned. Do you know someone you would like for me to highlight for their good deed on Good Deeds Buffalo? This person would be involved in the community and oftentimes are a beacon of hope and kindness. And the best part, Western New York can nominate someone for their good deed. Simply tag us on social media, contact us via our website, or send us an email to share your story. I want to thank WBBZ-TV for their unwavering support. Visit gooddeedsbuffalo.tv to learn more about today's show. Stay tuned as they celebrate the individuals who have earned the recognition and gratitude of our community on Good Deeds Buffalo.
Everybody wants a life full of hope to feel.